In this video, I'm going to help you pick your class in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. Okay, so there's a bunch of different choices. It throws a bunch at you, all the skills and everything all at once. And if you've never played the game before, and maybe even if you've played it before, it's still going to be extremely overwhelming and confusing. So first, we need to understand what is it that you want to do in the game. Have you played any others like Skyrim? Do you know your playstyle, or do you know what playstyle you want? Because that's really what this is going to come down to. Then I'm also going to show you custom classes, or mainly what to pick in a custom class, because I know which things are generally the hardest to level versus what you want. So there's just a lot to go through in this. So I'm going to try to break it all down for you. So we have these three tabs: combat, magic, and stealth. They're going to determine your bonuses that you get for all the skills that those classes start with. So all the melee skills, or all the magic skills, or all the stealth related skills, okay, they all get a little bit of bonus. So it just starts you off on the right foot. And then you have the favorite attributes, and we can customize all this if we do custom class, but the favorite attributes are going to be skills that just get a +5 bonus at the beginning. And then the major skills are going to be skills that receive an initial bonus of +20. But more importantly than that, this is the huge thing, the major skills are the thing that matter the most from this, because it determines how rapidly you gain those skills. So in my opinion, the best thing to do is pick major skills that are a total pain to level up. But it also depends on what are you trying to do. Because I know some of you are going to just run around and steal things until you get bored and never even do the main story. Some of you are going to be obsessed with magic. Some of you are just going to run around and kill everything you see. It's really going to depend on how you want to play. And then some of you are going to be the kind of people who just want to level every skill 99 and be a 100% completion. Like, there's a bunch of different ways you can play the game, right? And so that really is what you're going to pick your class based off of. So if you don't want to do a custom class, any of these combat ones, the top 4 are really just going to be your hack and slash type ones. If you get a Crusader, it's going to help you level up Restoration, though, which is a nice balance, because then you can just heal yourself a ton. You can always level it up without it, though. It's just that you're going to be able to level up faster. So I think Crusader is probably the easiest survivability of all these. You can just go and hack and slash and then heal. If you're playing on the harder difficulty, that's going to help a lot. If you're playing on easier difficulty, it doesn't matter, because it's going to feel like you one-shot everything anyway. So it depends on the difficulty you're playing on as well. The Knight is interesting because it comes with illusion spells, which are good for messing with people and having spells that interact with your opponents and can confuse them different things in different ways. So that's a little bit an oddball one on that. But those are your main 4 if you're going to really commit to just hack and slash killing everything you see with a sword or an axe or whatever. The bottom 3 are going to be more like the equivalent of a stealth class, but for combat. The main difference for an archer is you get sneak and marksman with light armor. The scout is going to be light armor with some alchemy, acrobatics, and stuff. And then a rogue is going to be, you're going to have the illusion spells, which are helpful, and going to be more light armor. And you have mercantile, so you can make more money, but it's kind of oddball classes. So I don't know, man, about those ones. Unless you really want to be an archer, then sure, pick an archer. But it's also, you might just want to do a custom class, but we'll get to after we go through these. Magic is a decent option, actually, because a lot of spells are like, you cannot use this spell at all until you have 20 of this, or 30 of this, or 15 of this. And so that's why a lot of times, even if you want to be melee, it's not a bad idea to have a lot of your major skills be magic skills, just so that when you do, if you do want to use magic, you can actually use the ones you find and use those to level up, and also level up faster, because it just takes a while to level up magic a lot. But it's not the slowest to level. But anyway, but all these, you just got to look through these and pick which ones that you want. So I mean, this one's an oddball. It has heavy armor, and then some of the weird ones, we have blade for that one, and this one has speechcraft and restoration, along with a bunch of all the other spells. So mainly with the spells you're looking for, does it have the magic types you want? And then are there any other things in it that you want? Like spell sword, for example. This is equivalent of a mix between a magic user and a combat class. You have the heavy armor, and you have the blade, and you have the block, and instead you just come with illusion, restoration, destruction, alteration. So you can look through these and make your choices based on that. Like, this is a good combo between fighting with your blade, but also having some really supportive magic spells. The witch hunter is basically the magic marksman. So you have archery, well, it's called marksman skill, and then a bunch of spells, a bunch of magic skills, along with security for picking locks, which is like, I don't know, not super huge long term. It's nice early, but it runs out late game as far as point of having it level up fast. Anyway, Nightblade is just like acrobatics, athletics with blade, and some light armor, and then just a bunch of magics. So you have to pick those based on which way you want to play. If you want to go full-blown magic only, then probably like the mage, maybe the sorcerer, maybe the healer. But then if you want a hybrid, it's like, you know, ranged magic user, melee magic user, you know, that type of thing. So you got to pick that based on what you think you're going to do in this game, okay? Then we have the stealth classes. So We have the thief, the agent, the acrobat, the assassin, monk, pilgrim, bard. Okay, bard is basically just the screw around class because you have illusion spells. You know how to do alchemy for making money. You mercantile for making money. You speechcraft for getting different dialogues and stuff. So this one's really more of a, I don't really care about leveling fast. I just want to level all the oddball things fast. It's kind of what the bard is. But you also come with blade and block as well and light armor. And then the pilgrim, he also has speechcraft and security for picking locks. And good for mercantile for making money. And other than that, it's just blunt damage. So for like blunt weapons instead of the sharp weapons like swords. And he's a light armor. He does the armor. He's kind of a weird one too. And then the monk comes with acrobatics, which is a bitch to level up. So acrobatics is not the worst one to ever have on these. Athletics is also a tedious one to level up, although it does passively. So it's usually you get it leveled up by just playing the game. And then hand-to-hand. If you want to actually go hand-to-hand, you know, it's a funny one to do. Comes with alteration spells and range spells for marksman, and then security and sneak. I think it's a really, I don't know, weird class to pick, though, if you're actually taking the game seriously. And then we have the assassin, which is going to be like a stealthy version of a ranger. And it just comes with, you know, sneak, security, and then comes with acrobatics, has alchemy, which is kind of an odd thing in it, but it's just there. But you can also make some poisons and different things with alchemy, so I mean, I guess that plays into the aura of it, you know. But yeah, just blade, light armor, and marksman is basically the core of this, and then if you focus on stealth other than that. Acrobat obviously has acrobatics, and it's blade and block with marksman. So this is kind of an all-arounder for this, for melee stealth, because you have blade and you have marksman, so it's about sneaking and using, you know, either a bow or a sword or both. And then you have speechcraft again for the fun dialogues and things. And then agent has illusion spells, which are actually really helpful. That's a really nice combo with stealth-related stuff. Acrobatics, which is a bitch to level. And then it's meant to be using range more than anything because of the marksman. And then you just have the basic stealth skills with mercantile in there. And then the thief is going to be, again, acrobatics with light armor. And there's no real melee in here. There's just the marksman. So this is gonna be, this is like the most generic stealth in any of these Elder Scrolls games. It's sneaking through caverns, holding a bow, and trying to, you know, sneak attack, headshot people with a bow, and hopefully one-shot them if you're on a low difficulty. And if they see you, you just run away, basically, or cast some kind of spell or something that you've got, which this one doesn't even start with any major skills for spells. But that's going to be your most generic, just stealing things. If you're just going to steal things the whole game, never do the main story, and then quit after 50 hours, Thief's pretty darn good. That's going to be a nice option for you, okay? So those choices, then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the custom classes. So the custom classes, we have to pick them one by one. So with the specialization, it's going to level up all 7 of those skills, get +5 bonus, and increase more rapidly. And so you're going to have to do it based on which way you want to play the game. So for me personally, I like to pick magic as my preferred here, because there's just so many different magics and they all take so long to level because you have to wait for Magicka regen, that if you're trying to level your mysticism, your destruction, your conjuration, and all that, oh my gosh, it's just going to take you 40 years is what it feels like. Late game, you can just buy a ton of Magicka potions or brew a bunch and then just like cast, drink potion, cast, drink potion, but it's still really tedious to level. You pick combat if you just want to level up combat much faster and you're just going to, you know, kill everyone you see with a sword. And then stealth, if you're just going to steal stuff and run around like that the whole game, then you pick that as your specialization. I'm going to pick magic personally because I just think it's the most difficult one to level. Then you get to pick your 2 favorite attributes, and these will receive an initial +5 bonus to them. I personally like always picking speed because one thing that happens a lot in this game and games like this is you'll find yourself just running around a lot. So, you know, just to speed that up just a little bit more, I even picked the birth sign for the speed so I can just run around faster, and then as you level up athletics, you run faster, and it just makes the game, for me, a lot more pleasant. But you don't have to go with that. The other thing, the fun ones, in my opinion, to pick are going to be speed and personality and luck. Those are the most, like, you know, I don't really need any of these. The game's fine. I just want to get the fun things. I run faster. People like me better so I can have more interesting dialogues and random things. And then luck, which just has, you know, hidden effects throughout the game that you won't even know it did anything. But then if you don't want anything like that, you actually just want to focus on combat. Endurance is really nice for giving you that buffer. You don't die as fast because it increases your maximum health and you regen health faster. And then willpower is the main bread and butter for a magic user because it's how fast you regenerate your magicka, which, you know, intelligence increases maximum, but it's not really helpful in an extended fight. So if you're playing on really low difficulty, intelligence is better because you're just gonna, you know, want to cast 1, 2, 3, kill 3 guys. Playing on hard difficulty, you're gonna need to cast, run around, cast, run around until they're all dead. Willpower helps more. Strength, obvious, you just do more damage with melee weapons. And then agility is better if you are going to use daggers or short swords or bow. So if you're like a marksman or a stealthy character, helps a lot. And it increases your maximum fatigue just a little bit. And it also helps you to regenerate fatigue faster. Also, strength increases how much you can carry and increases your max health. So if you're going to be hoarding things, and especially if you're just running around collecting things and selling them, strength's also good for that reason. In my case, I'm going to pick speed and personality just because I think it'll help me with making videos, but also I just love having speed and seeing what dialogue options I can get. Now, the most important thing is you get to your major skills and you can pick them yourself, so I'm going to undo all of them. We're going to talk about each one. So what we need, what here, the things I know here from the game, I played this 10 years ago and 20 years ago, and obviously it's a remake, it's a little bit different, but the armor is like, I don't really see a point in it personally. I never did, because I can just buy a bunch of repair hammers and repair things or whatever. I don't really have a main, like a big thing on that. It seems kind of pointless to me personally, but if you see a reason to grab it. Athletics, I always go with athletics because it's like a waiting game to get it. No matter how much you play the game, you just get it slowly. So I just want to speed that up because there's nothing I can do to exploit it to get it faster other than like putting a rubber band on a controller or something to run in a circle or something, which I guess I could do that. And then blade, you know, obvious. You're just going to level up your melee faster. So are you going to use a melee weapon at all? If so, are you going to be using blades or are you going to be using blunt weapons? If so, you're going to definitely want either blade or blunt, no matter what. Like, you pick your favorite one and go with it. If you're never going to use melee, you're a pure magic user or something, or a marksman, then sure, don't get either. But in my case, I like using blades. Block, I don't really go with that because, you know, it affects how much damage you mitigate when blocking an attack, okay? But you can just level this by standing still and blocking forever, have people beat the hell out of you. So it's easy to level, so I don't really need the boost, is how I always felt about it. Hand-to-hand, this is kind of a troll thing. It's just like, I'm going to play hand-to-hand. I'm going to be that guy. Then, yes, go hand-to-hand. But for most of you, you'll never want this ever, basically. Heavy armor, pretty easy to exploit level by getting the hell beaten out of you. So you don't really need it. But if you're really all in on melee, you could get it. Magic is where you're going to want a bunch of things. So alchemy, I've never really wanted to get this because a lot of times you can just find ways to get money in the game, then buy materials, and then make potions really fast and just grind it up super fast. Or just gather materials and grind it real fast. So like getting a boost in it only helps in the early game just for having it for fun. So I don't like getting that. Alterations, so it's like breathe underwater, walk on water, open logs, reduce encumbrance, shield yourself. They're fun. I don't really use alteration spells that much. They're really like, they're kind of utility, but they're not that great. Breathe underwater, walk on water, probably the most helpful ones. The other ones, reduce encumbrance can be nice if you're hoarding money, is trying to make money. But alteration is something I don't end up using a whole lot, so I usually don't go with that. Conjuration, I would say for a big chunk of you, it's just fun, man. Later on, you get flame atron notches and things, so I always go with Conjuration because it also is really awful to level. Like, it just takes a lot of spell cast and a lot of magicka per spell cast and things, so it can be a pain to level, and a lot of the times you'll be like, oh, I found this awesome summon. Oh, I need like 60 Conjuration, and you're like, oh, I really want to summon this, but I literally can't. That's an issue with Conjuration, so I like to pick that personally. It's fun to use. Destruction, obvious to go to if you're just going to be casting fireballs and things to kill things, then you definitely want Destruction. Illusion, it can be very fun sometimes. So, you know, you can, it says your charm, concealed, create light, silence, paralyze. So there's a lot of OP things in Illusion just for screwing around, paralyzing people and stealing and stuff. It's got a bunch of fun spells. So if you like really fun, unique spells, Illusion's really fun to have. And then Mysticism. This one, it's helpful, but the main thing with Mysticism, I like to get it because it just has a bunch of unique, interesting spells. I also like Illusion as well, but it lets you, I'm pretty sure this is the one that lets you use soul gems, which is a whole other thing you'll get into later in the game. And if you decide to get that, then you want Mysticism so you can level those up faster, use the greater soul gems and things. And then Restoration, this is a go-to if you're a melee user to get this, so that way you can just cast better heal spells, so you can just keep fighting forever, basically. It depends on, do you want to focus on that kind of thing, or do you want to focus on just fun, random spells and things? So I'm going to go with Illusion, Mysticism, Conjuration to start here. And then the Stealth, Acrobatics, always, in my opinion. Oh my god, leveling Acrobatics sucks otherwise. You just have to just jump all the time. Just jump, and it's just terrible. I think there might be an exploit you can get on a low ceiling and spam jump. I'll have to look into that, post a video if that still works. I think that was a thing back 10 years ago when I played, I don't remember. Light Armor, obviously, just level light Armor. It's probably better not to get it because you could just go have a bunch of rats and beat the hell out of you with light armor on or something, level up real fast, but so it's up to you. Marksman, if you're all in on a bow, you get Marksman, for sure. Mercantile, great early, terrible late. Early game, yeah, you get more money. Wow. And then late game, you'll be like, I have infinite money, and I don't really need this skill anymore, and now all my skills I want are hard to level, and I don't really need Mercantile. So that's kind of the situation of that. Make of what you will of that. Security, nice early, because you can open up locks more easily earlier on. And then as soon as you get the skill high enough, you'll instant regret because you're like, well, now for the next 100 hours, infinite how many hours I play, I just have this skill that is max level that I don't need like to level up fast, and it's not that hard to level up. So it depends how much. If you're all you're gonna do is steal, make money, then yeah, grab it. Sneak, if you're going to be sneaking only, then get it. But it's pretty easy to level. You can literally just stealth walk in a circle when someone doesn't see you, and you can like power level it. But if you're really all in on sneak, then get it so it boosts it and goes faster. And then speechcraft is really nice for getting different dialogues and things. I'm going to get that because speechcraft is kind of awful to level up. My big thing is which ones are awful to level up. And that'd be speechcraft, acrobatics, athletics. Those are terrible to level up. Blade or blunt are also horrible to level up because you can't just swing your like at nothing. Although actually some exploits for them, so it might not be so bad leveling them. Yeah, and then you pick your favorite ones from here if you have any spells you want to cast. And that's really how you're going to pick your custom class. And you can even give it a name if you want. I'm just going to name mine Adventure. And I know this is a really long video. I just want to get into all the details. I know it's a huge decision, okay, guys? So I wanted to give you all the information I could possibly give you to help you make this decision, because once you pick it, you're done for the rest of the game unless you want to make a new game. So hopefully I helped you out, guys. Hopefully all this was informative for you, and now you know what different things do and what your options are, why you should pick things. It's really going to come down to how you play the game. Are you just going to steal things for 50 hours and quit the game? Are you only doing the main story? Are you only killing things on sight? How do you play this game? Pick based off that. Hope to help you out, guys. Now you know how to pick your class better in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered.